What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mind Hiking Podcast. I'm your host, Brody Frye. In today's episode, we're going to wander through why we do what we do and the decisions that we make and why we make them and the interactions that we have with each other and how we can improve upon those. Because it would be very cool it's always cool to make the world a better place. So how do we make it a better place? Especially with all this variability in this world. So, with that said, hopefully you guys enjoy and stay tuned. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. Hello, everyone. Today is a father-son episode. Isn't that right, Snoopers? Come here, buddy. Uppies. Good boy. What do you say? Oh, he's showing off his toy. Oh, you got that. What's that? Oh, that's a squeaky Scruffles. What is that? Scruffle. Oh, sniffy. Can you speak? Oh my goodness, Bailey can. Baron, speak. Woof. Woof. What do you say? Good boy, there it is. But oh my goodness, Bailey just stole it. Okay. Just kidding about the entire episode being a father-son. Just that little bit. And father-daughter, I guess. My little fur babies. All right. For those of you that are just entering the Mind Hiking Podcast, on this episode, those are my two dogs that I share with my lovely fiance, and the Baron is a chocolate lab. He is 6 years old, and he is amazing, smartest dog ever. And lots of farm skills that are now not being used because we don't live on a farm anymore. And then Bailey is 2 years old, and she is a miniature Australian Shepherd. And they're so cute. She's a little crazy, but that's okay. We love her so much. All right. So, don't kill them with kindness. I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe I'll name the episode that. I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. But you hear that saying often where it's like you try to take the high road or you try to be the better person, and it's, oh, just kill them with kindness. And you pat each other on the back for that too. It's like you got to... Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm sorry. My apologies. Sorry about that. I left the door open thinking I was safe, but my amazing fiance was playing something. I don't know what it was, but I could hear it, so distracting. But she's amazing. I love her so much with all my heart. And but yeah, you hear that saying tossed around, kill them with kindness. And it's like trying to say, like, be the good person and just, like, don't stoop to their level and don't be rude back or don't be mean back. Just kill them with kindness. Just be sweet and kind and, like, yeah, just, like, overwhelm them with your kindness, even though they're being rude to you. Something along those lines. But the more I thought about that, at first I'm like, and I guess this is just part of the evolution of my thought process. But at first I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But like years prior, and then after a while of thinking on that, because I find myself mulling over stupid things in my mind for years on end often. But that being one of them, I just kind of think now that might not be the best approach. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that could actually be a little more passive aggressive than what the entire point of the idea is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, be the better person, blah, blah, blah. But then you got that hint of passive aggression, and it just got me thinking. I'm like, that's not right then. And it's not this high road that everybody thinks it is. It's not right. And I don't think it's a good idea to kill him with kindness. I think that's almost worse, because you're lying to the person and you're lying to yourself. And then you lose track of what's what. And who knows where else that can leach into in your life. Because we all know everything's connected. So I think genuine kindness is, and anybody can say that. Anybody can say genuine kindness, but really real kindness is always going to be your best option, because I truly do believe that each and every person is doing the very best they can with the information that they're given. They really are. I think they're doing the best they can. I think everybody is. It just depends on the information they're given and how they perceive that information too. So there's a couple different variables there that you can boil it down to. And the information that is input and the way that the input information is decoded. And but I truly think we're all trying to be the best we can be, and doing the best we can with the information that we're provided. And so keeping that in mind, it makes it a little bit easier to be kind to people, because from that person's perspective, who knows, if you were in their shoes, you'd probably be doing the same exact thing. And I think about that often with consciousness. Like, I'm not trying to make this a consciousness episode, but I think about that. Like, what if we are all much more similar than we think? Or consciousness itself does stem from a singular source, and if you were put in that another person's shoes, like from the womb, and went through everything that person that you disagree with went through, you would do the exact same thing and be the exact same person, because you're the exact same consciousness. That's something I think about a lot. I think about like the world just being like a massive light source blanketed with a dark blanket with pinholes in it, with light beams shining through, and each little pinhole is just us, our conscious minds peeking through, all being fed our light from the same source, the single source, and we're just perceiving ourselves as separate and looking at all these other light beams shooting out, perceiving them as separate just because we're looking from above the blanket. Who knows, but either way, I think we are all doing the best we can, and I think it's a lot easier to be a kind person when you keep things like that in mind. Another thing I like to keep in mind is just the vastness of the universe and looking out at the stars. And for some odd reason for me, that dwarfs my problems. I just look out there and I think about how small I am and the problems that I'm going through, and the fact that given enough time, this problem isn't even going to exist anymore. And like, why am I worried about it now? And it's thoughts like these that really help me through stressful situations, especially the day in and day out stuff, which you'll drive yourself crazy if you get caught up in every single little thing that goes wrong in everybody's day. And some people do. And they've probably drove themselves crazy, and probably all their friends and family around them, because they're probably all complaining about the same problems over and over again, which is unfortunate. And you can absolutely get caught in that. And I don't blame people for that, because life is hard. And sometimes that's just their coping method. But again, who knows if we would be the same way if we went through exactly what they went through. There's too many variables to be saying definitive answers here. This is all just hypothetical, just crazy thoughts and theories. But it does make it a little bit easier to be a kind person when you think about things like this. And I think it's so important to be the better person, but actually be the better person, not be the better person because that way you can be the better person. So there's so many twists behind it, and just like there's so many weird and you can just get lost in this too, but it's about intention. I think that's the key word. What's your intention behind your actions? Are you being kind because you actually genuinely care about the solution and the person you're talking to, and understanding that they're another conscious being just like you, and it's better if we solve this problem so that way we have one less problem in this world? Or are you being kind because you want to get something out of it? You want to have them owe you something, or a certain someone is watching you and that way you'll look better, or like your boss is watching you, or somebody that you like is watching you, or that person that you're interacting with knows somebody that you do like, or somebody important, so you are acting this way, being kind because of that. I mean, there's tons of different ways this could be spun up, but what are your intentions? Why are you being kind? Are you trying to get something out of it? Are you trying to look good? Because this could also be the case as well. Maybe it's not because they know somebody. Maybe it's not because somebody's looking at you or watching you. Maybe it's because you want to feel like the better person, and that feels good, feeling like the better person. You do the kind act, or you take the hit, or you admit that you're wrong, or apologize first, or whatever the case may be, because you want to be the better person. But then, is that the better person if it's just because you want to be that person? If you make that decision to be kind just because you want that title of the better person, so then you can say that in your stories in the future, you can say, yeah, I was the better person, I was the bigger person, then maybe you weren't. Again, this is so situational and variable, but what are those intentions? Intentions really matter. It really matters what you have going through your mind when you make decisions. And or do you have anything going through your mind when you're making decisions other than just the emotional outbursts? And emotional outbursts could be not just negative, they could be positive too. But either way, I think it really truly comes down to the intentions behind the actions. And what do you mean? Mean what you say and say what you mean. And do what you mean too. It's a lot of extra thought in this episode. I don't mean to make anybody overthink like I do. I don't mean to make anybody fall into the trap that I'm in of just thinking through everything like crazy. But what I would like to see is more intention behind action in this world. And overall more kindness, but I think intention behind your actions is a good start. Because then I think it'll show who people really are. It'll show true colors. And then I think the world will kind of like sort itself out from there. And the world's got an amazing way of sorting itself out. This life is full of miracles. It's a amazing, beautiful life that we're blessed enough to be created into. And another thing I often think about is this isn't even ours. This life isn't even ours. Like you say, this is my life. Teenagers say, oh, this is my life. Don't tell me what to do. Whatever. It's not. You were created. You didn't make yourself. So to say that this is your life, it's not. We're just like renting this life for the time being. We're just renting these bodies. We're just using them for now. And then we return them when we die. We return this life when we die. Another thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about intention and before you decide to hurt someone, think about being kind. Because we don't get a choice to be here. We're all born into this world and all struggling in our own ways, and we're all doing the best we can. We all know nothing. We're born here without knowing anything, and I say it all the time, but you're clueless, I'm clueless, we're all clueless. I'm just as clueless as the next guy, and we're all just trying to get by in this world the best we know how. So the least we could do is be kind to people and help each other out. Short, sweet, simple episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and got something out of it. Maybe it makes you do a little self-reflection, deep thinking. So, who knows? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't mix you up too much, but it'd be nice if you guys got something out of this episode. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I love that you guys are always listening, even these bonus episodes. It's so cool to me. I love all the support and the love that you guys provide. If you guys love what you hear, 5-star review on the podcast, please. I'd greatly appreciate that. And best way to let this podcast grow is to tell somebody about it. So share it, send an episode to somebody, send your favorite episode to someone, and have a great rest of your week, guys. I will see you on Monday. Peace.